Hey guys, today we're going to be giving our review on the last 2 episodes of X-Men 97. To me, my nerds.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Till the Online Podcast. I'm your boy Wanji here with
Kiki T.
That's right, and back again, our big brother podcast, if you will, the Film Addicts. We have the awesome Addy and the pod slut himself, Regs. What's up, buddy? What's up, guys?
Hey, did you just call me a pod
That's
slut?
right. You coined that phrase. It's not like I made it up. You're like, I am, I'm just pod slutting it, pretty much.
It's a bit of shade 2 minutes into the
That's no shade, sir. I do not.
get it.
I do not consider a pod slut shade. I am amending you on that.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate spreading it around.
That's right. Putting your mouth to any mic that will have you. Right.
Oh my
That's right.
goodness, that is.
Exactly. Any mic that gets in front of me is sorry. So what's happening?
What's up, guys? Thank you first of all for coming back.
Yeah.
And then I want to publicly say on our podcast, you guys had like the kindest words to say about us on one of your episodes. I was listening to it and it absolutely filled my heart. So
Yes.
we want to thank you guys so much for those kind words, and we absolutely feel the exact same way about you guys.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, man. It's a good, like we're talking off mic. It's a good community.
Yeah, for sure.
Community of people to be in.
For sure.
agree.
I love it.
I love it.
So as you said, we're going to be talking about the entire series of the X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
Your first thoughts on the series? Were you happy to, Regs? I know you grew up. You're relatively around the same age as us, so you grew up watching the old series, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Were you happy to see it back?
First saw it. Yeah, you know what? I took a little while to watch it. Addy was like, "Would you fucking hurry
Language
so that we can talk about it?" And I don't know if I was kind of like, I wanted to do a run up and watch the other series, but it just didn't happen. And there's obviously nostalgia going on there. Like, not all of those episodes are great, but I remember I saw it. I was in California when I was like 9. And we were on a family holiday, and I saw the first episode of it air, the Night of the Sentinels, and I'd never been an X-Men comic reader either. I was like Spider-Man, and shit.
Okay,
and that was it. It was just like this is going to be the one. And apart from Batman the animated series, it's the animated show that I still go back to. And I don't find it nostalgia bait. I just feel like it's a good fucking show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Addy, what about you? Well, now that the series is on Disney Plus, did you watch any of the old series?
I did. Like in the run-up for this, I watched the original series,
The whole thing?
or like some. Yeah,
Oh shit, nice.
because like I think it was last year when we did our X-Men trilogy episodes, and we covered the animated series in one of the episodes, and I watched it for that, and then I revised it for this one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Like the bad
It-
graphics and all?
I grew up with shittier graphics than that, so it was fun.
Okay. All right. Nice.
Like yeah,
What was shittier than that?
it's just off-brand. It's a piece of shit.
You want to talk
like,
about off-brand, motherfucker? The other night we were recording our Jaws commentary, which comes out at the beginning of June.
Yeah.
Just a little plug there
For
for
sure.
you. And Addy's eating something. I'm like, "What snacks you got, mate?" And he's like, "It's an off-brand Toblerone." Do you guys have Toblerone in the States?
No, I don't think so.
It's a very European-y type of thing, and I guess it sort of translates in sort of Asian countries as well. It's a nougat and almond chocolate bar that's in like triangle points,
Okay.
and you eat it like, I think it's Swiss. It's supposed to be the Alps,
Oh, okay.
as if
Okay.
the Alps are all exactly the same size and one right behind the other. But and you kind of click bits off and eat it and all that. So very lovely. And it's called Toblerone, which is the name of the family that developed
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And Addy was eating one, but it was an off-brand one he got from 7-Eleven, and it was called Choco Triangles. I'm like, that is the most low-rent shit.
It's like, all right, so what do we have here? Do we have these chocolate triangles? Great. All right, send it out. Just name it. That's it.
That's a chocolate. No, I'd make it choco. It sounds a bit funner. And what are these? Oh, these are rice baubles. Like, get. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, off-brand cartoon.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, you watched the entire series, and then going to this series, do you feel like it stayed true to it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love this more than the other one.
Yeah.
You love
I think everybody does.
the
Yeah.
new series?
Like everybody does.
Yeah.
The new series? Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree.
Yeah,
too.
97.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely stepped it up. As far as definitely content goes, they, like you were saying, Regs, they, for what they did 10 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
they fit more in than that entire the original run.
Nah,
fit
I
way
wouldn't say
more.
that, but I mean, they fit a lot in there.
They had some episodes in the old series that were just like, I felt filler episodes. Like,
Okay.
for example, the Cap and Wolverine episode of the original series.
Okay.
That was literally just a flashback episode.
Yeah,
That had nothing
I
to do with
think the reason why these hit so hard, and the team, hats off to them,
Mm-hmm.
but they knew that they needed to hit a home run right away,
Yeah.
and if they didn't, they were going to cancel it. You know, so
Yeah.
if they didn't do the amazing job and then start off the way they did, there's no way they're talking about greenlighting season 4 as they're producing season 3 right now.
Oh, shit.
So it's already like that's how popular it is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they put too much in it, but I think they put just enough. But
yeah.
I get they didn't have filler episodes. Was outside of the Motendo episode.
Yeah.
I think that was the only filler episode for me that I didn't care for. But
I felt like that was on purpose because they're like, we're about to hit you guys
Well,
with
yeah,
the fucking
that makes
bombshell of the
sense.
season. Here's a little like,
Yeah.
here,
That
watch
mid-
this,
yeah,
and
the
then we're gonna
mid-series
smack
finale.
you in the face with this episode.
I'm gonna have PTSD from the rest of my life. For
I
mid-series.
already have it, dude. I have sleepless nights because of that fucking
That's-
episode.
That episode was the a squirrel on a skateboard story in the news before they tell you about the massacre somewhere
Yes,
else.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
A little bit of sugar, now take your medicine kind of
Yeah, seriously.
I feel like they did condense a lot of stories, like the Madeline Pryor story and all that kind of thing, and Genosha, and then also Operation Zero Tolerance, and that character like that ran for like ages in the comics.
Yeah.
Like it was almost a full year,
Yeah.
and they were able to do it, but they did it so conservatively that nothing felt
rushed.
rushed.
No.
yeah,
And it was such a well-paced show, and again, it was like I was saying off mic, I don't feel this is nostalgia bait. Like you can look at some stuff, remakes, things like that. Like I saw the trailer for Beetlejuice when I went to the movies the other
Yeah.
night. So, or Beetlegeist, and like there is a nostalgia thing to that. Like people will go because they liked Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
not necessarily because they wanted to see this sequel. But with 97, it feels like, yeah, hey fans, we dig what you dig, and we're into it. But think about how much of an evolution, like how much more mature storytelling is. Like back when they was making those cartoons and Len Wein was writing them and shit, they were just pumping them out. Just,
Yeah.
we got to get 24 episodes out a season, whatever.
Yeah.
This is so focused and so dedicated to character that it plays like a drama show. It doesn't play like
Yeah.
a cartoon at
yeah.
all.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's not over the air now. It's Disney, it's streaming based, so
Yeah.
they can talk about things like the Holocaust.
Fucking one another.
That too, but
Yeah.
like the Holocaust was the big difference between 97 and the old series because they couldn't even address that over Fox Air. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And now they can, get to the real issues that the X-Men are dealing with, and like I don't think they could have did this season finale the way that they did it back then because they couldn't cover the traumas the real traumas that Magneto went through and stuff. We'll get there, but
Yeah.
but yeah,
But also like the level of adult conversation that goes on and the level of violence as well. Like, is it Bastion?
Bastion?
Yeah.
Bastion. I gave it some French.
you did Bastion.
I am bon voyage. He's legitimately threatening. Like he is really like when Rogue whoops his ass at the beginning of the last episode. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna break everybody and murder people and cut their faces." And like, it's just take no prisoners style storytelling is always gonna get you interested.
Mhm. Oh, like we're gonna get to it, but one of the parts, the big, Wolverine Magneto part, that couldn't have aired on Fox.
No.
They're like,
No,
I don't think they could. They couldn't even show blood.
I don't think so either. I don't think
They couldn't
original
show
animated series showed blood.
Yeah, but all right. So
And you don't also sideline your A-list character. Like Wolverine isn't in the final episode. Really, he doesn't pick up.
He's
he doesn't
on-
schnickty schnoing at all.
yeah. He's on a
that's
he's on a
ballsy.
hospital bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but so let's dive right into this, huh? You guys
Yeah.
ready to get going into this?
Well, first things first. What's everyone's
do it.
favorite X-Men? Oh, I'm sorry, favorite mutant, but it could be an X-Men.
Mine obviously
mutant?
is fucking Gambit, and it still
Joe
is.
Biden
Joe.
is great as a mutant. His power is that somehow
He's still
he
alive.
becomes more and more incoherent as time goes on.
I want that. I'm
that's-
voting for him just to see his second term.
Why?
Of what other shit he's gonna talk about?
What? No, don't. I don't agree with this.
Because it'll be crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be, I have no skin in the game. I'm in a different country, and geez, if you look at the history of Australian politicians, we ain't faring much better. So yeah, it's totally fine. No, my favorite is Beast.
Yes.
Okay.
I love
That's a
Beast.
solid X-Men to have in your corner.
The intellectual like monster is always appealing because
Yeah.
it's like we all have those. That's the dichotomy. We all have those sides to each other, and what is a man and what is a beast, and where the two meet, kind of thing. I love that.
What I like about Beast too is that, like you said, his intelligence is alone, great, but you have a character that's literally named the Beast. You don't usually correlate that. Like, it could have been very easy for them to be like, oh, he's a beast, let's make him an idiot that just wants to, claw at things and beat shit up. But to have that kind
He
of...
could have been the Hulk.
Yeah, he could have been the Hulk, exactly. But to give him the brains of, like, a super genius, it's great.
Yeah.
Addy, what about you? Who's your favorite? I think I know the answer.
Oh, well, I really wanted to be Rogue, but I'm also confused with Nightcrawler because I love them both very much.
So
Equally.
They're brother and sister. You can put them together.
That's true.
So you keep it in the family. So that's one thing. So Rogue, I mean, you had to pick one. I will say I did like your guys' like X-Men draft that you guys did. I thought that was fucking
yeah,
awesome.
that
That
was
was pretty cool. I was like, fuck, why didn't we think of that? But but
You can steal that idea. It's fine. It's not copyright.
yeah, right. So Rogue or Nightcrawler, you had to choose one, Addy. You had to choose one.
At the moment,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm going Rogue.
You gotta go Rogue,
Okay.
man. Hell yeah.
He's about to take over the podcast. Look out.
But no, let us know why.
I'm relieved with her way more than I've ever done, especially after episode 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And she has such a I mean, that's the thing about the mutants on whole is like Superman can fly and Aquaman can breathe underwater and all this kind of stuff that's functional, but a lot of mutants don't, like, their powers come with the other side of the coin. Like, yeah, Rogue's got all these amazing abilities and all this kind of stuff, but she can never touch anyone.
Yeah.
Cyclops can never look into his son's eyes
Yeah.
without destroying people.
Yeah.
Like Wolverine can ages and sees everybody he loved die. Like the cost of these powers is so great that they become immensely appealing to anybody who feels marginalized or is in a minority or whatever. Says the white guy on this podcast, by the way.
No, I mean, shit, if you can recognize it and at least be on that side, fucking more power to you. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm an ally.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, but I think that's a great point, and I think that's why X-Men hits so hard, like so close to home with a lot of people, is because, like, they can relate to, like, oh, I have these great things about me, but here's this one thing that either people see me as or that I have struggles with.
Right.
So they can relate to that. Like, I'm sure, there are deeper thoughts to why Addy likes Rogue. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there are deeper intellects to why you like Beast and why I like Gambit. You know what I mean? And Well, we didn't get to use, but
So I didn't come to this conclusion until recently.
this series actually helped
This
you
series
realize
is the
that,
one that helped me find it. Yeah. So Nightcrawler, just the way he speaks,
Yes.
he has a really awesome skill set. You know, he can jump between that dimension, but just he's blue, so it sucks already because he's blue. So people kind of already discriminating him.
and he has a tail.
And he has but like he's always been
looks like a
viewed.
devil.
Yeah, he's viewed like I was gonna say like a demon, you know. And because he's viewed that way, and he still found peace with God and
religion.
has a religion and believes in something. You know, it's just shows that faith is important, and just the faith that he has in his team and in his peers, and in those darkest times of needs, like the last episode when he was praying over Magneto and Eric, and when he's sitting by Rogue's side, and when he's sitting next to Jean when she comes back, and we find out she was switched with Madeline, like all of that, like. He was there by every single person that needed consoling. He doesn't need to be. He just chose to, and I relate to that because sometimes I'm always a phone call away for a lot of my friends that I have their back and they have my back, and it's nice to see that. So I relate to him in that way, and then his power set's pretty dope. Him to use the three swords, that was fucking a dope ass scene with him and Wolverine.
Hell yeah, dude.
Forget about
that just kind of cemented it for me. But no, I liked what he stands for, and then his power set's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, I feel like he was that leaning, like those words of wisdom that they were missing from Xavier. I felt like that's where he stepped up.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
I would agree. I would agree with that 100%.
He always has been my second favorite X-Men, like right after Gambit. But this series, so it was fitting that they were like, all right, he's the replacement. And I was like, fuck you guys, but still.
Why do you like Gambit so much? Is it just because you enjoy beignets?
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah,
I think he has a crush on him, to be honest.
Dude, I mean, Gambit.
Who fucking does it? You kidding me? They draw him in a
Those
crop
fucking
top
eyes.
in a second when they're playing basketball.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Right.
the abs on that guy. No,
I started questioning everything.
no. His skill set, and just I think the way that he was clutch whenever X-Men were fighting. Like I felt like he was that one guy that can get them out of a fucking horrible situation.
Yeah.
He was always there for his X-Men. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, and just I don't know. I think the heart he has, falling for someone and then staying committed to them, even though they're not officially together, because he has that love. I don't know. I felt his power set is just fucking badass.
It is pretty cool.
He can light up anything.
Think about it, man. Like charging up Wolverine's claws is one of the most baller shits I've ever seen.
Dude,
That was just
when I saw
fantastic.
that, I lost my shit. And then because we saw that in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
For it,
And then we got it the first episode.
dude. We got it the first. I'm like, fuck yeah! You didn't make me wait till episode 9 to see that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, usually-
fucking, little did I know he wasn't even gonna fucking make it to episode 9. Fucking X-Men.
That's why they gave it to us earlier.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Well, but since you're saying that, since episode 1 started so hot, let's get right into it.
yeah. Let's jump
So-
right in.
So to me, my X-Men, it's a fucking dope ass name of to start the series.
Yeah.
So Cyclops races to find the source of the new anti-mutant technology. So we kind of just run into humans having sentinel weapons.
Oh right. Yeah.
And they're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Like they're kind of in disarray, I guess, because they lost Charles, and they kind of made it seem like he was dead.
Yeah, they did a little bit. Yeah.
Well, for all intents and purposes, like they all thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which there's some gray area there because we know he was in a coma and the Shi'ar were the only people that can keep him alive and possibly bring him back, but they never declared him dead. But they made the public believe he was dead.
Yeah, because I guess I don't know. It'd be hard to explain, especially in the '90s, to be like, "Hey, this alien civilization is gonna take him and heal him on their planet."
Yeah,
but he can't come back. People lost their shit. They're already dealing with mutants. That's
I guess that makes sense.
for their brains. That's all that they can handle. Then you bring in aliens, their heads will explode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
Yeah. So then we get that that badass well no that's later, that's towards the end of the episode, right, where the X-Men literally find
Well, they're playing basketball, aren't they, or something like that?
is that in the beginning? Yeah. Which did we ever get that in the animated series? In the original, them just chilling.
Yeah,
they did it in the comics a lot. They're always having barbecues or going to the beach.
Yeah,
if I can get hand jobs in the sand dunes and all sorts of shit. Like it's just, and Wolverine, he's got like 3 on each of the things, and they're doing volleyball or whatever.
Yeah.
That happened heaps, but I don't remember it much in the original series. But it's also like the family part of it is, it's not like fucking shoved in there the way it is in Fast and Furious or something. It's like these guys are literally family.
Yeah.
They live together. One of them's pregnant. With Cable Baby, and they're making waffles in the morning times he was making.
He was making beignets.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
Everyone I don't know who's eating that for breakfast, but whatever. Maybe have a smoothie.
I mean,
right?
maybe in New Orleans, that's how they get down. I would imagine.
When you're doing as much backflips and shit as he is, you can eat.
Yeah,
that's true.
He needs that shit for fuel. How much
he needs the carbs.
Yeah,
he's got carbs.
I would imagine putting kinetic energy into things drains you, so you need the calorie intake to fucking be able to keep up. Could you imagine had he not eaten a lot that day? He just makes a little spark. Fuck.
I've got to go have a bowl of something. I'll be right back.
Your New Orleans sounds so French, dude. Your New Orleans.
I can't do New Orleans. The only thing I love New Orleans accents because at the end of a sentence they say comma me, like. Oh, I love beignets, me.
Yeah.
And they put me on the end, like as in instead of saying myself or your name.
Yeah.
I love it. But no, I can't do that. I can do French, and that's what you'll put up with.
I swear, I was listening to you guys, and you're doing your Bon Voyage bit, and I swear to God, I thought I was listening to Incredibles. I was like, wait, did I change it? I was like, fuck. Yeah.
I give good Bon Voyage, I must admit. I'm actually doing, I'm trying to do Jean-Claude Van Damme in Hard Target. Oh, I will help you find your daddy.
Come on. Pretty funny.
Let's go do some jump kicks.
So it's just a little turn of the dial to get to New Orleans. Just a little bit. Yeah, you just got to find that twinge at the end.
Maybe when I'm there at the end of the year, I'll go to New Orleans and learn how to speak like these dudes.
You're just gonna walk up to people.
Anyway, sorry to
just talk for me. Just say anything you want. Go ahead.
Say anything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. So then we get that badass scene of them where we finally see Cyclops, the badass that he is.
When they're in the jet.
Did you see that descent where he used his blast to slow his descent?
That is one of the best, because that's the thing about the X-Men, and I was talking to my fiance about it because we rewatched the all the pictures. I think it was the start of last year, and she loves them like that. They're her favorite, and I'm like, why? And she goes, I just think they're really interesting, like the way that you use their powers. Like if you look at something like the Justice League, whatever version you want to look at, but that movie at the end of it, they're not using their power sets at all. Really, they're just like punching things. Yeah. Like they're not even near a body of water. Aquaman can't do shit. But in this, every time they use their powers, it's a really functional use that no one else can do. No one else can do that. Right. Everybody else had parachutes.
Yeah.
And Cyclops is like, don't worry, I've got this.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
That's the same thing. We were wondering. We're like, he just jumped out. And then they're like, they all just leave him. And we're like, I was like, hey, what the fuck?
And he smiles. He smiles, and while he's while backwards, and then he turns around and does Captain America from Civil War.
Yeah.
And he goes to dive into the ocean.
No, Winter Soldier.
Yeah. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, did he have a parachute? No, he didn't. Well, that's the thing is they've done that 100 times in the Danger Room.
True.
That's a good point.
This is Cyclops, jumps out of a jet protocol 27, and he's practiced that 1,000 times.
That's true.
That's a good point.
They're one of the only teams that does a lot of training, similar to. That's why I like the show Young Justice. Is it Young Justice? Yeah.
Justice.
With and
that's their whole base.
Yeah,
that's their whole base.
Yeah, the whole team they practice together. And we see Robin lead them originally. Same thing with Teen Titans too. Like they have Beast Boy and Cyborg. They're a team. They work together. Raven uses her powers, and that's one of the reasons why I like those two shows also, because they remind me of the X-Men, where they work together as a team. They're a unit, and they're not. oh well, this guy's super strong, so let's just let the Hulk run wild, clear some space, and then we just come clean up after.
Yeah, you can see the difference between them and like Avengers. Avengers is like they each have their skill set, they fuck off and just do their thing. And then they come back together at the end.
Yeah.
Like, all right, did you do your shit? They're like, yeah, I did my shit. You do your shit? And then, but like...
Yeah, it's sort of like they're fighting individual battles as opposed to like, like charging up Wolverine's claws or, like the old from the comics.
Fastball special, yeah.
When Colossus used to just throw Wolverine like a fucking hot
It's
just... it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do a lot of training. You're right, Kike, but they do struggle a little bit with time for training because... somebody keeps booking out the danger room to fuck for 9.5 hours. Like,
Which,
let's be real.
Jesus
like, how are they just practicing for any area that they can bang in, or like what's happening? Like they're like, all right, imagine Sentinels are coming. Where can we have sex real quick before they get to us? Like, what the fuck is going on?
They're using the technology,
dude? If you had let me ask you something. You had the danger room with Sandy. Okay. You're not imagining different scenarios you guys can get down in?
I mean, I don't want life-threatening thing. I don't know if I can get it up in a life-threatening situation,
That's what the danger room is. It's practice for that. You know what I mean? It's building your adrenaline.
Sorry, I can't get hard with all these saw blades and sentinels and shit blasts.
You don't know. Maybe that turns into your kink, and then after that, you can't get hard unless danger's coming.
No,
like, you don't
that's
know.
horrible. No, no, thank you.
This Morlock program is making my penis. Like, not...
Yeah, can you imagine like you're going right, and then fucking Mr. Sinister just pops up out of nowhere, just limp, immediately limp. That guy's ugly,
especially after Phoenix, destroyed his mutation.
Yeah,
that
Apocalypse, this big ass buff guy out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
the Juggernaut pops out of the wall. I am not finishing. Nope,
for sure.
I'm screaming like a little bitch and running.
Yeah. Addy, what did you think of that first like big battle scene that we got? Did you geek out hard at the at Storm just fucking lightening up the sand, turning that bitch into glass?
That was cool.
I did.
That was fucking badass.
I did. I screamed when they said Omega level threat. I was like,
yeah. Did you guys see our episode where he realized what it takes to be classified as an Omega level? Rex, you probably know this from the.
No, what's the metric?
So
you have to be best in your mutation.
Correct.
Power.
Yeah. Correct. So that's why Magneto is the master of magnetism, so he's an Omega level. That's why Xavier isn't Omega, because Jean is technically a stronger telepath.
I was going to ask you about that. They have technically different types of powers, though, because he can't levitate. He doesn't have telekinesis. He has telepathy. Yeah. She has telekinesis.
No, but Jean has telekinesis and telepathy.
Right, so she has it also.
But he's still not classified as a...
Correct, yeah, and I get that, because her telepathy
he's been bested by, what's her name? By Emma Frost, too.
Oh, shit, okay.
All
right.
So Emma Frost is an Omega. The diamond might help, it might help get her up there, but, she has a second mutation now. But she's not an Omega level mutant.
All right.
So... But that's what classifies.
She's going to have to come into play at some point, because like when they find her in the ruins in Genosha, and they're like the secondary mutation took place, and she got the diamond skin. She's like, I'm always good under pressure.
Yeah.
Fucking baller.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
She's going to have to come in at some stage. Like, how if you watch the opening credits, they would change from week to week.
Yeah.
The last episode had a shot of Xavier sort of doing this shit, and then behind him was a door open, and there was
Emma.
The Hellfire
yeah,
of which she was in there, and with Sebastian Shaw and a bunch of other cucks.
Yeah,
and then the door.
Yeah,
yeah. I think she's going to play a big part soon.
They're definitely setting her up for season 2 for sure.
Well, let's kind of like push through this quicker, so we can get to that, because I agree. I have some ideas about that. I guess another version of the X-Men team that we're gonna have to use right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we get the finale. We get introduced to the cool fight scene at the end. To me, my X-Men. And he or the baller ass lines. He's like, "Give him the weather storm" or something.
Dude.
Like just the dope ass one liners that keep getting said by all of them. And then we get introduced to Dr. Cooper, who wasn't revealed to be Mystique, and from day one, I said was Mystique.
He was riding that train hard.
And I still think she is.
He was the conductor on that train,
she's
dude.
Definitely. I still think she's Mystique, and I still think that Roberto's family was bankrolling Bastion, for sure.
Yeah. Do you think or let's throw it to you guys. Do you think Mystique is going to come into play at all in maybe season 2?
I mean, they probably at some point will bring her in, if for no other reason than she's a popular character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they'll find a way to get her in there. And if Rogue and Nightcrawler are banging around as well, there's definitely some tension to be derived there.
Yeah, Addie,
Addie, you had a thought about that. I just saw it happen.
Yeah, they're not banging around. They're just hanging out together.
No, not banging around. Sorry, you couldn't see that. Right. I mean, yes.
I don't think he was implying. Yeah, I don't think he was implying incest. I think he was just talking about them just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm absolutely not implying incest. I never do.
Yeah. So do you have any thoughts as to maybe that, like, any character that was Mystique, like he thinks it was Dr. Cooper? You think is right?
Oh, right. I'd have to watch it again.
Okay.
And sort of discern, from different interactions. But
Addie?
I didn't see any in particular.
Yeah, no, I thought she was Dr. Cooper too, okay. But then, like especially after she survived Genosha, I was like, there's something happening here.
Yeah.
But then she wasn't like, there was nothing else other than everybody else saying that she is.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there's not enough proof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna die on that hill because I think she is. Because just what gave it away for me is she released Eric, and then she didn't. And she cared a lot about Eric speaking to her, and obviously her and Eric have that relationship. And I don't know. I think it'll pay off in the next season, and if it doesn't, then oh well. But anyway,
I just want to be around when the series ends.
And she doesn't even pop up.
It's just Dr. Cooper.
Season 4 and no Mystique still.
He's like, what the fuck? All right. So it's
like, what?
Yeah.
So episode 2 is Mutant Liberation Begins.
Mm-hmm.
So then we see Magneto. Well, I guess at the end we find out that Magneto. At the end of episode 1, we find out Magneto is willed the X-Mansion and the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So this one starts off and Magneto. Go ahead.
Sorry, this is where the government turn up and like, hey, motherfucker, you remember the 5 seasons of shit you put us through before?
Yeah.
Well, the chickens is coming home to roost. Yeah. But he's got the cool, the House of M costume.
Yeah.
Which is interesting without explaining that. They're just like, this is what's up. And this is, I mean, will have more resonance for you guys than it will for me and Addie, but this episode is a direct... well, not a direct result, but a comment on Jan 6. Like, this is an insurrection episode, and it's fucking amazing because it proves positive that the X-Men will never not be relevant. They will always like these things that they face. These prejudices and these narrow-minded and small-mindedness is going to be a play, and it's up to those of us who are different. Mm-hmm. Those of us who are mutant and proud to stand up against that, maybe not in a violent way, but like that's, and that was when I was like, oh, okay, this show's got something.
I would even argue that it's more relevant now with the whole wave of the LGBTQ community,
so much.
Yeah, with what they're dealing with and the hard push that community is like, having to fight even louder for their struggles and stuff like that. This series now, I think, is way more relevant, especially than the 90s. Definitely works.
Yeah. Well,
and allegorically, though, it still works in the sense that on the opposite side, in that, yes, you are right. There is more people who are marginalized and more people who understand where they fit. Mm-hmm. And well, not fit, but how they want to identify themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we have the language for it now, which means they have more power than they ever did, which makes them even more of a threat to bigots and small-minded people.
Agreed.
So it's right on the money.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I don't just talk about balls and stuff. Like sometimes I know some.
Yes, you do for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think they, like we talked about this a little bit earlier, how they weren't scared to push the envelope. They weren't scared to insist on certain thought points or viewpoints of how they view the world. And the 90s was an interesting time for us as a community. It was just different time. People were realizing who they were, and if the 90s didn't happen the way they were, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. I guess is what I'm saying. The culture that was created from there and what it evolved into what we have now. I mean, I agree. Like,
definitely a stepping stone.
Yeah, Bodemeo and the team, they all. He said they were going to push a lot of envelopes. They were going to maybe ruffle some feathers, but within the guidelines that Disney would allow them to.
Fucking sure ruffled my feathers.
Point,
fucking
like, what else is art supposed to do but challenge people?
Right.
And that's what this is. This is the work of art.
Yeah.
This is not a nostalgia cash grab the way that I thought it might have been. This is fans of the original show going, we know how to tell the story. We understand these characters.
And I think,
and again, it has resonance.
Yeah, I think that's where since the end of the Infinity Saga and some of the movies and shows that I really have cared for, I've cared for them because the story that was told and the impact it made within the MCU universe and then within real life. So
like WandaVision.
It as much as it was a fantastic show, and one of the best shows since the Infinity Saga, or best products that they've put out, it didn't touch just comic related topics. It hit you in your heart, in your soul. Like I cried in a lot of episodes. The Loki series, and so some of those projects, and then not to knock on the Hawkeye series, like it was really entertaining and I liked it a lot, but it didn't have the heart behind it the way.
He says that, and I'm just like, what the fuck ever? Because that scene of him talking about Black Widow.
Yes, that part. Serious? Yes, there was parts. But like,
alternatively, the Kate Bishop's, striving to please her dead father, or
fair point.
What it means to be a hero, having a one-eyed dog. The Clint Barton is the human face of an inhuman war. Like this guy is damaged and broken, so much so that he has to have a conversation through someone else with his son on the phone because he's dead. Like, I defy you not to tear up when he's trying to do that.
The betrayal she had to deal with her mother, finding out her mother is fucking working for Fisk.
Again, I'm not saying it wasn't. It's just the magnitude of it wasn't. It didn't.
It was a lot more joyful and happy-go-lucky.
For sure. It was more based on like action and stuff. I think it just didn't hit you closer to home.
Well, it just didn't make me like rethink life, I guess. Fair enough. Makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. It had more. It was definitely more subtle on like the touching story, but it definitely still had it.
Whatever, you fucking wrote.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show very much. It's just
an Ultron here. Actually, he's a very emotional dude. Come to think of it. Well, if you read the original Matt Fraction books of Hawkeye, of that series, it's even more so like the place for that hero and what it means to be just a person with a crazy skill set in amongst these
gods.
That's the real heart of the story. But I get what you're saying, man. I'm not.
No, I know.
That was me just taking.
All right.
But no, I mean, I think. Well, they greenlight a season 2 now. They just said there's going to be.
I know. I saw that before. I nearly fucking came.
They already. I thought they already worked on season 3 or season 2.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, remember they finished production on season 2, and then they were working on 3. And
maybe I read it incorrectly then.
Yeah.
Got it.
Remember we talked
for Hawkeye.
Hawkeye season 2. Is that what you're talking about? Hawkeye. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about X-Men still. All right.
No.
Hell yeah! And then
I was gonna say.
And then Clint Barton's brother is going to be in this series.
Yeah.
Which fucking didn't even realize he had a brother. I was like, all right.
I don't think they did either until Jeremy Renner nearly got killed by that snowplow.
They were like, we might have to write him out or something. All right.
Yeah.
So so episode 3. What do we got for 3?
3 is sorry guys.
Fire Made Flesh.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You got the synopsis for that one?
Yeah, so
because at the end of the last episode, Double Gene happened.
Yeah.
Oh right. Yeah.
Fuck around, and at the beginning of the third one, Beast is like, "Yeah, you're the clone, and she the real one."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?"
Literally, what happened?
Will the real Jean Grey please stand up? Right? Like, yeah, for sure.
That was.
Genes is better than one.
Yeah.
Scott doesn't think so, but all right.
Yeah. Poor Scott, man.
I reckon he'd be all right with it if they got some time in the day.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm like, two of my wives signed me up.
I've said that to Mike because my Mrs. tours, the country doing her job and goes overseas and stuff. Like she's gone 6 or 7 months out of the year. If there was another one I've heard, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I mean, I hope that it doesn't turn evil and have Connecticut.
Yeah.
Right? And become the Goblin Queen.
Exactly.
Just to hang around. Oh, well, I mean, the outfit.
Yeah, that'll probably work.
She's a redhead too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
All right, that'll work.
it happen.
Yeah, that's right. He's like searching the web, add to cart. Get
That is a hard.
Yeah, getting that Goblin Queen cosplay going. Your wife's gonna come back home like, honey, I got you something. She said, what the hell's this?
Like, I hate PVC. It makes me itch.
Oh no.
All right, so we got for was it Flesh Made Blood?
Fire Made Flesh.
Oh, Fire Made Flesh.
Yeah.
Well, fuck was that?
That's another.
Yeah, that's another episode.
That's
all right.
But yeah, so that's when we find, like how he said, that they find out who the real Jean Grey was, and then that's when they end up going to the to Sinister's. Well, Morph takes them to Sinister's hideout to try to stop him, and figure it out who was who.
Oh yeah, this episode, Mr. Sinister debuts, right? Or that was at the end of the last episode. Or no, it was this episode, right?
It's this episode we see him. Yeah, in this series, yeah. So then Cyclops and Magneto go to stop, and that was a pretty cool. I never thought in my wildest dreams to see them working together to stop the Goblin Queen, and she was giving it to them. She was in it. Yeah. I like that they didn't make her. And I think I like the whole series, even though like the old animation, they really sexualized the women a lot. And this one, the Goblin Queen didn't have her like bikini with the loincloth and like half basically naked.
It was still working for me. I don't know about you guys.
Right, but it was a little
like,
subtle. It wasn't as sexualized, living in a house full of women, it's a little different for me.
Yeah, the 90s definitely made them like voluptuous for sure.
Yeah.
Just the era of the all the Image dudes before they left Marvel. So Liefeld and Lee and Eric Larson and Todd McFarlane and all that stuff. These insane, feminine shapes that don't exist in reality and all that kind of stuff really did affect. You look at DC heroes as well, like the Huntress and stuff like that. Like, or Power Girl's a great example. She's got the big circle of where her cleavage is. Like, what the fuck is that? That would be so. Imagine being in a fight, then rubble would go down there all the time. You'd be pulling.
Or you just you're exposing a very sensitive area to just blades and shit like.
It'd be like if Captain America wasn't wearing trunks; his balls were hanging out with a big spangled star.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that he only had the shield there. Like he was taking punches to the face.
The shield nothing. Keep fighting, Avengers. Yeah. Have you seen Cap's balls? One's blue and one's white, and his dick's red.
Oh my god, that's cool.
That's taking Captain America. He's a true Captain America.
That is patriotism right there.
Yep.
Yeah. If your cock and balls are star spangled, you're a patriot.
Absolutely. That's hilarious.
How the hell did we get
I have no idea.
That's the power of film addicts. We always find a way to get over there.
That's what happens when you have all that. Sure.
No.
I mean, this is such a great episode because it delivers the a drama, like you said, Kike. Like you're like, fuck, I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't know where the fuck this show was ever going. Like as soon as it turned around. And Storm losing her powers, was that this episode?
That was the second.
That was the
second episode,
That was the second one, yeah. It's like, and introducing her, she's an Omega level mutant or whatever the fuck it was. Like, and then being like, no one snatched that.
Yeah.
And how she can't feel she's like, I can't feel the wind.
Oh my God.
Like, the powers that have separated her from humanity for so long is so defines her as a person. That when they're gone, she doesn't know who she is anymore. Like, that's every time this show took a right turn quickly, I almost got whiplash.
Yeah, we were talking about it in our group chat where you're like, they're drawings and they're like taking us through this roller coaster. I don't think I've watched a show, let alone like live action or just animation, that has taken me on a roller coaster of emotions in like one season like this show.
No, so I agree.
It's like Mad Men.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
Yeah, when they took her powers, like I felt Dave Chappelle just pop up over me and gotcha, bitch. Like,
yeah, seriously.
I was like, for real.
Yeah,
dude, what just happened?
Did you guys think that was it for Storm? Like this character's gone, or did you think she was gonna get it back?
I mean, I didn't think she was gonna, shack it up with Forge and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
Forge, who is really cool in this. Like I dig that character a lot. He's an interesting skill set, and they sort of played him a little bit more. I don't know, a little bit more accurately. I think, than he has been portrayed in the past. Just dug that character a lot.
Yeah, I think everybody, with the exception of how you said, their A-list character Wolverine didn't really show up in the last episode. They gave everybody a fantastic, well balanced, and I talked about this, like
time in front of the camera. Yeah,
right. This wasn't like the Wolverine show. It wasn't the Scott Summers show. This was the X-Men, and then they balanced it all out very, very well, and that's really hard to do.
Especially with the team this size.
The team this size and the other characters that aren't even part of the team, and and then Genosha and their council, and then the humans, like they balanced it out very well, and nobody, I don't feel like anyone was robbed of their limelight, with the exception of maybe Jubilee, where we got a little bit of it at the end, but I think she'll play a bigger role in the future.
But she had the whole sort of romance with Sunspot, which is a great in for everybody to kind of be brought into it.
Yeah.
I mean, for Jubilee being the kind of mutant she is, I think they gave her enough of a limelight. Because, I mean, she's a teen.
Yeah.
So she's not really going through the same hardships or struggles that the Scott is going through, and
finding out his baby mama isn't really his baby mama, but it's a different baby mama,
kind of, sort of.
Like, there's a lot going on.
Poor guy. And then Rogue dealing with what she's dealing with now that her ex is back or is now with her current family. Like, there's a lot going on for Jubilee to just be like
age gap lovers. Let me tell you. I mean, think about it for a second. If she was like early 20s and he was in the Holocaust, that's some Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
That's some daddy issues to the forefront, for sure.
Going on, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's cool because that happens in real life too. Like people have age difference. I mean, sometimes it's
Dane Cook
of a spurious nature.
Dane Cook is dating a 20-something-year-old.
He's in his 50s. Is not the example I would use for this. I'm talking about people who are in love with each other.
I just meant that I was specifically talking about the age difference. That was it.
Yeah. I mean, Dane Cook have you seen Dane Cook lately? My God, he looks like he's been stung by a bunch of demons.
He's puffing up. He's puffing up and weirdly too.
He's had some what's the stuff they put in for
Botox?
The Botox? You know what I mean? This is a prime ingredient. That's botulism, for crying out loud. Just insane. You put that in your head. But dude, just relax. You can age gracefully.
He's trying to be like Paul Rudd, apparently, I guess. Just doesn't age.
Paul Rudd has a crossroads deal with the devil.
Probably.
Yeah. Him and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Those guys just don't age.
Yeah.
They're vampires. It's confirmed.
We'll be long gone and they'll still be here.
Probably.
Next episode, Motendo, Life Death Part 1.
We can probably fast forward through this one.
Yeah.
There was nothing really exciting.
The Life Death part was fun.
That was cool.
Yeah. I like Mojo too. I think that and my main man, what's his name? Fucking the dude with the long shot.
Oh,
I dig long shot.
Okay.
And I like those episodes in the original and that kind of world and everything. I also liked how they did the 16-bit kind of style animation. I thought that was really cool.
That was cool to see. That took me back to my childhood of playing like Ninja Turtles and the Simpsons on 16-bit, where you're literally just walking across the landscape and stuff like that. That was pretty cool to see.
Castlevania.
Yeah, That was pretty.
Yeah,
that was
man,
pretty
for
cool.
sure.
And then we get the fucking bombshell episode.
Yeah, remember
episode
it.
5 that nobody saw coming. My worst episode.
Well,
I
I knew this was gonna be a crazy one because it's called Remember It. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like clearly, when you put a title like that in the name of an episode, like it's the mid-season one. Like
you're gonna remember it.
You're gonna remember it. There was
Yeah.
a reason for it. Did I think it was gonna hit like this? I still remember watching it. It was early in the morning, getting ready for work, and I'm watching it in my room, and it ends, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened?
My
Am I-
jaw literally dropped. Especially like to put it into perspective, Regs. Imagine that had been Beast that got fucking stabbed right in his torso. I was literally that happened. I'm just like, what the fuck? My jaw literally opened. I'm just like, what am I watching?
Yeah,
I'm like, all right.
My girl was like, what's wrong? I'm like, they all died. Like everyone just died. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I was just.
It was like Game of Thrones, but with characters who, like, Gambit is arguably one of the most popular. Like when I was a teenager, it was Wolverine or Gambit. Like that,
Yeah.
they were the people that you dug the most. You know what I mean? And it was because of the cartoon. To kill off one of your most popular characters like that in such a meaningful way, the way that it struck me, I had the sinking feeling in my stomach. In the same way that when I was in the cinema and Infinity War ended with Thanos on the porch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and half of
And I was like,
them just gone. Yeah.
Oh, he won?
Yeah.
Are you fucking shitting me? Like
Yeah.
that was how I felt. Like, really, they've off Gambit, you know? Like, and then it cut to black, and Rogue's voice saying, "I can't feel
Oh,
you."
God.
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me with the emotional trauma that this is causing in me right
Tears.
now? Like, just incredible story.
Yeah.
I was free to appreciate that moment. I was like, you better fucking feel him. Don't you tell me you can't feel it. You better fucking do something to feel it. You better get the defibrillators or something.
He was blowing up my phone. He's like, I'm done with this fucking show. Like he was
All
ready
caps,
to give
by
it
the
up.
way, like, all
yes,
fucking-
he was screaming and he was pissed. I'm like,
I was like, fuck this show, dude. You killed. Literally. All right, you saw my wall of Funkos. He's the only mutant I have on here. Well, the only X-Men. That's it.
Racist?
I don't. Yeah, fucking right. I don't need any other X-Men. I only like Gambit. I only wanted Gambit, and you fucking killed him. You dicks. Like, what the
Pretty
fuck?
brutal. But I mean, imagine having the balls to do it as well. Of being like, or not the metaphorical
Yeah,
balls,
right.
the story
Yeah,
balls, as I
yeah.
like to call them, not actual male balls or female
Yeah.
balls, because I don't know who wrote it, or whose idea it was. But
Fuck them,
to
whoever
go,
wrote it.
Gambit is an A. Yeah, exactly. Gambit is an A-list character, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Let's show these people that the stakes are that high.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty amazing. This is the episode that Addy was like, "Have you fucking watched it yet?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he luckily he had us, but he needed an outlet. He's like, hey, dude, I need to talk my feelings out, and you're just not there.
I'm the big brother as well, so it's like, no, everything will be all right. But I didn't know if everything would be all right, and clearly it won't because they stopped drawing. And
Yeah.
that's pretty rough.
I literally had to keep telling myself that, like, okay, they just stopped drawing him. He didn't.
They stopped drawing the
He's
guy.
not actually a guy that died. They just stopped drawing him, kind of like Bambi's mother. They just
But
didn't
the
draw
fact that
him.
he means that much to you,
Yeah,
you know, like that he actually, that you would feel that, whether it was anger or mine was shock, you know, whatever the emotion was that was brought up for you. The fact that you feel that says so much about what these artificial characters do
Yeah.
to us and how we feel about it. It's like when, you know, you talk about Addy and Superman, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it's so like can't be denied. These are real people to us,
Yeah.
you know, and that's good. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. It just means that we're
Yeah.
capable of feeling that stuff.
I think this would fall in my top 5 of like deaths. Like when, you know, when Peter was getting snapped away, and then he's like, I don't want to. What does he say? I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Oh yeah.
And then he's saying sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and then he just.
Honestly, this, and I don't know what it was, because I don't know. I guess those stories, I kind of saw them coming or like expected that. But Gambit's
this
death,
one came out of nowhere. Well,
fucking,
we know
he was laughing it up in the beginning of the episode, and then he fucking dies at the end.
Yeah, well, he was being a cockblock is what he was doing in the beginning of the episode. The beginning.
Man.
Well, he's not doing it very well. You've seen the Danger Room recordings, man.
Oh my god, they can make so much money off of those tapes.
Oh my god.
Someone's done it. If you look on the internet right now, there is fan fiction of just what went in where.
Probably.
Oh, goodness gracious.
In that, you know?
And he's like, oh my god.
And New Hope.
Oh my god. So Magneto put it in the danger room, then, right?
Yeah,
he definitely put it in.
He put it in the danger room.
He definitely put it in the danger room.
100%. Yeah. Could you?
That's a good.
He's like 60 years old. He wants to experiment. He's gonna
imagine
he doesn't need Viagra. He just magnetizes his dick and away you go.
Oh my god!
Imagine the first session of them two, because she can finally touch somebody. She probably almost broke him.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
Whenever.
Yeah. Well, back in the
like,
day, she didn't have the power from Captain Marvel yet. So the first time they did it, but now it's like superpower. Like,
have you ever seen? I don't know if you guys have talked about this. I want to say you have the movie My Super Ex-Girlfriend. You guys never seen that? So it was like a meteor crash landed on Earth, and like by a park, and a girl went to go touch it, and then she got rogue-like powers from like super strength, like she could fly, Superman powers basically. She could fly and do all that, but then she was dating a regular dude, and like the whole funny bit was like she would break the bed when they were banging, and then she took it. She's like, hey, I always wanted to try something. She took him up in flight, and then they banged in the middle of the air. Yeah.
Well, that'd be cold for starters. And does the movie end with her ripping his dick off like a celery stick?
No, but that was like the running bit, was that she had this strength and that she had to like kind of restrain herself,
right,
or else she would literally break him. So
little bit.
Yeah,
kind of like how like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage were finally able to let loose on each other.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. But like, imagine Jessica Jones is trying to be with regular guys.
Well, yeah, it's Luke Cage with Rosario Dawson's character.
Oh yeah.
He has to be nice and
that's right. Yeah,
softer.
Imagine,
and not
slower,
nice and not made out of steel.
Yeah, and not break her.
Yeah. So then after Genosha happens, I'm furious, and then trying to watch. Honestly, it was so hard for me to watch the next episode and thereafter. I was just so pissed with the show. Yeah, I'm just like, you mother. What else are you gonna do? Like, why couldn't you kill Jubilee? Nobody gave a fuck.
That's the reason why they didn't kill her.
Exactly. That's the point.
No,
it wouldn't have had the stakes.
Still, kill her off.
Yeah, I watched Life Death very numb. Like I was numb when I watched it. I don't think I appreciated it as much as I should. And the ratings show that on IMDb. Like it was rated 7.9. And the number 5 was rated. Remember, it was rated 9.8, which was the highest out of all.
The highest of the whole season, yeah.
Yeah. But Life Death Part 2 was what episode 6 was, and Storm is forced to face her worst fears in order to free herself. So it turns out she's the one like dampening her own powers after Forge does whatever he does to kind of.
Oh yeah. I don't know about if she was dampening. So did you guys get that? We'll go with you, Addie. Did you get that the machine actually restored her powers and it was a mental block that was stopping her? Or did you think, what was it, the plant, right, that she came across? Because you had that theory, right?
Yeah, maybe the plant.
The plant had brought it. Which theory did you think of, Addie?
I did think, but she's an Omega level mutant. They can't like dampen her powers at all. But I did feel like because of the shock, it would have been a mental block.
Okay. So you think the machine did restore her powers?
Yeah. I think for a bit, like her powers were gone.
Yeah.
But like the fucking bird, man, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. What is that thing called? Do
you guys remember the name?
Keep going, guys. I'm just having a kitten issue. I'll be one.
Okay, a cat issue. All right.
I'll be back in a second, audience.
Yeah, we all know that issue. We all have cats here.
Yeah. We do. We all have cats.
Yeah. Well, Addie, you don't have any pets, right?
Nope.
All right. So you were like me, and you thought that the the machine had brought back her powers, and it was just her. Because I took into play about the part where she was talking to Jean, and that whole talk that she had, that it was kind of like her in her own head, kind of wanting to. What was she saying that she didn't? She imagined not having powers or something like that.
Yeah. What it would feel like to not have these powers.
Yeah.
So and the adversary was playing at that for
adversary,
sure.
That's what the name.
The entity, yeah. The
owl. Yeah. So you that the owl scaring the shit out of you? Did that like put you off on that episode where you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it was a very creepy one.
Yeah.
I liked it though.
See, to be fair, I'm a weird person, so it creeped me out, but then I liked that it creeped me out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you like lean into it, you're like, all right, let's get going. Because it was definitely a new lane for like X-Men to take to go into like that horror lane.
Yeah.
With it. So it was a nice new way to look at it. But then do you think that she would have eventually got her powers back without the adversary, or do you think the adversary helped her?
I think the adversary helping her was her accepting that she is Storm and she had like her power is her.
Yeah.
He was accepting that there's this darkness inside of you, but it also makes you great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're in the same things we were. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then after that, what we got episode 7, right?
Yeah, but in this episode too, just the recap that we get to see. This is when Charles kind of takes over everyone's mind, and in the room, isn't it?
Oh yeah, where we get Milky Way Ghetto. Is that one?
Oh yeah, when she calls him the Milky Way.
Hey, what are your thoughts on that, of being referred to our planet as the Milky Way Ghetto?
I'm not against
it. Right?
Yeah, like accurate.
Like when I heard that, I was like, "Fuck you!" But yeah,
okay.
Fair. Okay. So yeah, he takes over. He kind of takes him to school, right?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
literally takes him to school.
I didn't realize that was the same episode. I thought it was the
at the end.
Okay.
And then someone hits him telepathically, and then that's when we see Gambit, right?
That was.
Yeah, we see Gambit becoming dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like, my children, they were drinking and dancing,
drinking wine, making love.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we know who he was talking about with the love part.
Yeah, he saw that. He's like, not my danger room.
Fucking pervert, dude. He's just watching.
He's gonna get back, and he's just gonna be like, that's not what I built that fucking room for.
Yeah, seriously.
Come on. Yeah.
Can you imagine going through there with like a black light?
No, I don't. I would imagine that thing has insane cleaning capabilities.
I think Hank built the danger room, right? So he's probably the one taking care of it.
Oh, poor Hank.
What, all the common stuff that's left?
Yeah, the black light.
He comes right back and he already knows where we're at. Love it.
That's how well I know all
Yep, exactly. But we were talking about I was asking Addie if he thought the machine had brought back her powers, and did you think that it was a mental block stopping her, or what were your thoughts as to why she wasn't getting her powers back?
Yeah, I thought it was, in the end, it was, a temporary thing, and then her own fear of not having them or engaging with them again was the thing that was keeping her from charging up.
Yeah, because I saw Adversary as basically like her therapist. Like, she needed to go through that therapy session, and fucking frightening.
That's an intense therapy session.
Seriously.
I would never.
Yeah.
I've been through therapy, and holy cow, I would.
I mean, you'd come out of that untouchable though. You'd be like, fucking nothing can take me down.
Yeah, I mean, if I can get godlike powers.
If your therapist is a fucking giant bird, I'd think about going somewhere else.
Yes, seriously. Yeah, is that covered in my insurance? I don't think my insurance covers giant birds. So
that'd be a veterinary bill, isn't it? Fucking.
Are you kidding me? In the United States of America, of course it fucking. HMO is not going to cover like an actual doctor, let alone a bird.
Our insurance just covers us to walk in. That's it. Right. Like, all right, you walked in. That's all.
You're here. That's your therapy.
That'll be $750.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly. All right. So then we got.
That's what Rogue said.
Yeah.
That's the new.
That was her.
That's what. She
Yeah,
did.
that's what Rogue said.
That's what Rogue said.
And that's the danger room. She walked in. That was the first line said. That's the first audio recorded.
She's like, take it out. Take it out. Take it out.
All right. So then after that one, we have episode 7.
Yeah.
And that one is.
Sorry, loading. It is Bright Eyes.
Oh, okay. So this is the episode I needed, right?
Yeah.
So this is the one where we open up on the funeral, Gambit's funeral. I needed that a little bit.
And Rogue's not there
to help me mourn. Yeah.
At first, it was annoying. So I'm like, bro, come on, your boo just died. You know,
she's out there getting revenge.
Yeah, makes sense.
She's out there going full John Wick.
Hell yes.
I love a revenge story, man. And she just like. Rogue as a character is so powerful.
Yeah.
But she's a Southern belle. Like there's a softness and a gentleness to her, and then to take that away and have her just be pure power.
It's like her it's like her power stems from her heart. Like that's if you piss her off, that's like I was telling him when we were covering the episode, I was like, it's like the writers were like, all right, how can we show Hell Hath No Fury like a woman scorn? Like how can we just map that out? And then it's just Rogue fucking going ape shit on everybody.
Yeah.
Just if she didn't like the way you were dressed, she punched the shit out of you. That
seriously.
Like, you know what I mean? Like she didn't care if you were the evil or not. She just get out of my way.
Knocking your ass out. Yeah.
Those hats that go with those pants.
Yeah.
But
White after Labor Day.
Fury, like a woman scorn. Like that's that's something that people used to say in the 1950s when a lady would sit in front of the vanity and weep for too long or some fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
But now, like, this isn't a woman scorn. This is you've hurt my family. I'm a fucking beast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna claw you to death with my talons. That kind of shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Proper revenge.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then is this also the episode we see Cap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Where she fucking yeets the shit out of the shield, which. Just send his shit.
I don't know what you guys read from Cap's face, but I just read him going, really?
Like what? Why?
You ass.
I heard fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. I've got to go and get that.
Yeah.
And clearly he does, because in the final episode he has it back.
Yeah.
There's only one of them.
It took him 3 episodes to find the fucking shield. The scene we see, he just picked it up.
Yeah.
Like he's like,
that's why Iron Man's there, because Iron Man was really the one who helped him find it. He's like, all right, let me make a metal detector for vibranium, and we'll go find this fucking.
He
thing.
literally pulled out his brick-sized cell phone and was like, "Hey, Tony, Rogue just threw that. You know that shield your dad made me. I need help finding it." Yeah, for sure.
And Tony be like, "Is Rogue the one who gets down in the danger room?" I'll be right.
Yeah, on the way. Yeah. I'm surprised Rogue and Tony haven't.
Mustache ride. What? Sorry.
Well, they can't. That makes sense. Never mind.
Yeah. In the Iron Man suit, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a walking dildo.
He is. That man has gotten around.
Tony for sure.
Yeah. I sort of more meant he's like wearing a vibrator.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay, fair. All right. How about the eulogy? Let's change it.
Nice segue.
Yeah, Kirk's eulogy was beautiful.
It was
very touching.
Man, I'm telling you, if
he really is the heart.
I needed Nightcrawler's words. I'm telling you, he brought me back down.
Yeah, seriously,
for sure.
And then we see, Jean in that one, like Jean and Rogue finally start to. I'm sorry, Jean and Scott finally show some affection after having the whole Madeline and Jean switch and not knowing who was who this whole time. So that was kind of cool to see. I wasn't. What story did you say you weren't invested in there? Like
that one,
right?
Dude, I'm telling you, after I was telling him after Gambit died. I was like, oh, fuck everybody else.
Yeah, he just didn't care about nothing.
I fuck off. I'm like, oh, you got 2 women? Fucking Rogue's got nobody. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're crying because now you have 2 of the same woman? Fucking Gambit's dead. Fuck right off.
Whiny bitch.
Seriously.
I do like the idea that they both come to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter who's who. They both have the same memories.
Yeah.
Like, who was the Phoenix? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I know we end up finding out that Jean, OG Jean, was the Phoenix. But yeah, like in the long run, it's how they feel is more important than what they are.
Actually, that brings up a question I want to ask you guys. Do you think Madeline Pryor's dead?
Hold on.
No, right?
I have something for it later.
Addy, go ahead.
Oh, we're coming back to that?
Addy, I want to hear your thoughts.
I like how you stopped him. That's a good noise.
Yeah.
I think Madeline Pryor is dead.
Oh.
I don't think the Goblin Queen is dead.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice. Addy coming with the fire. I like it. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. When we get to episode 10,
In
I'm going to
some
talk about that.
circles, they call her Gobby.
Gobby?
No, they don't.
That's what Sinister calls her.
Yeah, Mr. Sinister calls her Gobby.
Oh, goodness gracious. And this is where we get introduced to OZT, Operation Zero Tolerance. This is where we see the logo, and then we see, what's his face? What's the dude that they move?
Oh.
Not Trask. Is it Trask?
I think did they move Trask? What's the other guy's name?
Isn't it Gyrick?
Gyrick, yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Gyrick, yeah. So they move Gyrick to like this Mexican compound, and then he's there, and then it turns out it's not a prison cell, and then Rogue kind of chokes him and almost kills him, takes all his memory, and then we see Nimrod, which is pretty cool. Actually, is it this episode?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So now I kind of start seeing and putting like all these theories together, what's happening. And then at the end we get to see the Prime Sentinels, and I was like, these are fucking dope. Like this show is about to just. This is where I was like, all right, they messed with my heart. They gave me episode 6 was like I was numb for, but they're like, all right, come on, wake up. I'm gonna finish the season strong, and they sure as fuck did.
Did you guys see that they hid Prime Sentinels in the fucking intro of every episode?
The entire series?
Yeah.
Every single one of them. The guy with the Letterman jacket.
I only know that because I saw it. Like someone else said it. Like that's that's the
same. I did not notice that at all. Well, to be fair, I was telling him, I'm like, the fucking scenes are moving so quick, it's hard to like see. That's why they did it.
Somebody wouldn't watch the recap or this intro. He would just skip it until I told him, like, dude, the voice of it of every time is somebody different, and they're the focus of the episode.
Yeah, I was
and he's like,
give me the X-Men. I want to get to it. And then episode 5 happened. I was like, fuck it. I left the intro. I was like, I don't care.
He's
all mad, humming the beat to the song. Hurry up.
just monotone the whole time.
Like, I did like it. Defeated.
100% defeated. Yeah, for sure. All
right, so that's 7, and then 8 was
Tolerance is Extinction Part 1.
Tolerance is Extinction Part 1.
And what a fucking episode.
I don't know how you guys felt about the part 3s, or the last
3 episodes.
Yeah, the last 3 episodes, but I felt like the first 2 hit harder than the last one for me.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. Addy, did you think it was a build up, or did you feel like me, I felt like the first 2 hit harder a little bit. And I don't know if it's because there was like an anticipation of like, oh fuck, what's going to happen on the next episode? And then the last one happened. Maybe that's where I'm getting that. But what about you guys?
I think like the first 2, like episode 8 and 9, I think they were much more dire, and you didn't know what was going to happen. And episode 10, spoilers, had a lot of people that we know from different things that showed up, where you were like, hey,
yeah,
and it kind of calmed down your nerves.
Cameos galore. Hell yeah.
Personally,
my boy Daredevil was in.
Yeah, fucking love it.
Cloak and Dagger showed up.
Yeah. I saw Cloak and Dagger, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. We barely got to see them they were on Freeform, which I don't even know if anybody fucking watches Freeform or not. But
I watched it. It was fucking amazing.
Was it good?
I heard really good reviews.
I never got around to seeing it.
I want to watch it. I'd like to.
Okay.
I think episode 10 was very much. I love that they didn't hit. They hit us with a cliffhanger, obviously.
Yeah.
But I love that they didn't like end it so like a stupid ending. Where just like, now I have to wait for it eased us off. They're like, all right.
Yeah, it definitely finished the story that they were telling, and then it started a new story, and you're like, all right, cool. I know where you're gonna go. Yeah, I get that for sure.
And it's clear that Abin Sur is going to be the involved in a pretty significant way. Apocalypse is going to be involved in a pretty
which I'm sure you were really happy with the season finale because you're like, fuck yeah,
Apocalypse. Yeah,
he was calling it. I think since episode 1, he's like, dude, Apocalypse is coming.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 3. I'm like, they keep showing Apocalypse and Cable in the intro. That one scene where he takes the time cube out of Cable's out of his arm, and then he uses it to go into the future. And they never took it out of the intro. I was like, so Apocalypse he's pulling some big, huge thing. Something's happening. And then...
Which I think that's who pulled them at the end.
Yeah, or Ramatut, a King variant.
Yeah.
That's where I was leaning, because he was... Ramatut was in the animated series. So we already know he was back then.
I think it was more Apocalypse because... Follow me here. But... him doing that gets rid of that team, at least for the time being, and then he shows up to Genosha.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like he's like, let me pull these guys out of here so they don't fuck with what I'm going to start doing. Or at least delay with what I'm going to start doing, which...
I think he's building... Okay, so we'll just talk about all 3 episodes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest one.
So, with the whole Madeline Pryor thing, I think he's pulling... his 4 horsemen from different realities or from different timelines. So we know hopefully Gambit comes back as that. I think Madeline Pryor is going to be one of his horsemen, and I also think that Rogue's going to choose to be by Gambit's side to be a horseman too.
Ooh, I like that.
Just because she'd be able to be with her loved one that's now gone.
And the other one is Trump.
Yeah. He's been
and his horse is lame, and his superpower is breathless.
Yeah, his superpower is just inciting riots. That's all it is. He's like, that's a good. We got Apocalypse here.
Agent of Apocalypse.
He's gonna do great things. He's a great guy. Just follow us.
Apocalypse. He's got great lips.
Oh my god.
He's got great lips. I love ancient Egypt. I love it.
But
it's the best stage.
He was telling me, he's like, he goes, I don't know if you're gonna like this Gambit. He goes, so mentally prepare yourself.
I told Addie the same thing.
I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, I'm team Gambit. If that happens, I'm team Apocalypse. I'm like, fuck up these X-Men. I don't care. I have my Gambit back. I'm ride or die with Gambit. I don't care.
Yeah, I think the only other person that, I mean, who would complete the Horseman?
Well, you were talking about Scott getting the Phoenix.
Cable?
First.
You think so?
I thought Cable.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Eddie?
Yeah, me and Kiko were talking about Omega Red joining with Gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah. So you don't think Omega Red and Silver Samurai would be one of the other horsemen? Oh, Omega Red, Gambit.
No. Silver Samurai is not a mutant, is he? I think he just has like a.
Yeah, Silver Samurai is disconnected from like the things that are happening. It's just for like world building.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Omega Red is a mutant. But I don't. Omega Red would definitely be a horseman. It could be a potential.
Yeah.
But I think for sure Gambit, as we all, I think we all agree on. But I think Madeline Pryor might be the second one. The other ones are in the air, but I think Madeline might.
That'd be a good way to bring her back in, because they kind of tease that she's dead, but not really, because they didn't actually even finish the word dead.
Yeah.
She just hit the D and then that was it.
Yeah.
That.
So did Rogue.
Yeah. Like it's,
yeah.
It's sort of like
she hit the magnet D.
I feel like I started this. And
that's why we have you on, buddy. That's why.
It's we do infect people like a plague. the thing that I really loved about that ending was it's so specific. It's not like they were all individually lost in different parts of time.
Yeah.
Like one group of them were back, in 3000 BC, and there's Abin Sur.
Yeah.
And then the other group are in the future, like
it's
3000 after AD or whatever it is. And I'm like, that's of course, like there has to be a reason for Apocalypse doing that. So either he needs them in those two timelines to affect himself. So they go back and they find the old version of him before his apocalypse when he's up in sewer. Maybe they have something he needs, like it's a fourth dimensional Luke. Like in order for him to become Apocalypse, he needs them to be there, and that they would have always been there.
Yeah.
Like that kind of fourth dimensional reality, the Ouroboros thing. That's why I'm interested, and also my main man Beast getting the final line of the whole picture.
Yeah,
like. Oh, yeah. You fucking A right, son. You fucking A right. Time traveling hero.
Yeah. So, and it's a good point because too, there's got to be something to why the entire team was pulled to one, and then just Jean and Scott happen to go where their son is,
and we don't know where Morph, Storm, and Logan are.
Storm's last week.
I'll tell you where Morph and Logan are, mate. They're in the fucking danger, getting it on, mate.
Oh my god!
You've got a pansexual person, and you've got a dude who's been alive for 200 years, who's probably tried everything and done everything, and wants to. Yeah, sure, I'm game. What's that? Yep, 3 men or 6 women.
Yeah,
whatever's going on. Goats. Like I'll try it.
Yeah, Morph being non-binary is definitely playing to to Wolverine's like. Yeah, all right, like because he's been alive.
And he's gonna be more. So he's going to become feral Wolverine, which happens in the comics.
Yeah, so apparently he's going to be stronger now.
Adamantium's the adamantium stopped him from becoming an animal, essentially. So it kept him from...
That's what happened in the comics.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking had a nose like this, and he was eating shit.
Oh, okay. Well,
like just,
Reed Richards in the comics had pointed out that... the adamantium was kind of suppressing his powers because he had to pull from his the way his body was working, that it was pulling from the strength that he could potentially have superhuman strength, but it was pulling that to heal the metal poisoning that he was getting. Constantly. Kind of like how Deadpool's constantly healing the cancer in his body.
Right.
So it was doing that. So now that's out of him, Magneto might have fucked up because. He's gonna come. Now he has bone. He has bone claws now, which he won't be able to cut through anything. But those things still cut.
Bone claw is ready.
So I mean, Addy, what did you think about Rogue wearing Gambit's trench coat? Did you see that?
Oh, that was cute. That was cute.
I liked it, dude.
I love that they went to their old suits too.
Oh yeah,
the old costumes, the John Byrne era costumes.
The 60s, right? Like 2 of them were from the 60s, weren't they?
Early 70s,
okay.
The Giant X-Men #1. Like that's with the full blue over, and then for Cyclops and the brown and orange, which I always liked much better for Wolverine.
Me too.
It went with him better, yeah.
So like that sort of Claremont and Frank Miller's Wolverine that they did that book.
Yeah.
Just beautiful work. Yeah, I dug that the most. That was it touched my childhood
for sure. Yeah, that was a nice callback because I was expecting newer, like just new suits that they would come up to like kind of separate them. Like, oh, this is the new X-Men that you're watching.
Yeah.
But for them to throw it back even further, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm like, hell yeah.
The Marvel Girl costume with the green and the yellow mask and stuff, like, and that's again, it's not. There's part of it that's fan service, but then there's part of it's just like this is a fucking cool idea.
Yeah.
Let's just do this cool shit in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the shout out to Wolverine's motorcycle, the Hasbro toy from back in the day that never really made it. So like it's Wolverine has a motorcycle, and then there's like claws that come out in front of the.
Shut up.
So if you look in there, you see like 2 of Charles's different wheelchairs.
Oh yeah,
and then you see the 2 different X-wings, and then
we even see that old one where like it kind of his chair goes out and then slants down for like his legs.
Yeah, the side of it.
Yeah, I think that was that was one of the original ones.
Right.
Yeah, so
it's their old base.
Yeah,
but Wolverine had a motorcycle, and there was a famous toy that came out. So if you guys look it up, that's the toy that they show. That's the motorcycle that they. But they never used it in the animated show.
Yeah,
it was just a tribute to the toy that was so popular.
Speaking of costumes, we get that little like clap back moment of
Oh, from the movie?
From the Fox, you know.
He's like, you guys really go out in these things? He's like, we're expecting yellow spandex?
Yeah, and then he throws to the cave because you guys actually go out with these?
Like, what am I going to a circus?
And then, then he's like, what would you prefer, black leather? I was like, yes!
That was funny.
That was the best,
nice
like, clap back to the...
It's like if I can... to Bryan Singer and all his...
Yeah. It was like...
To be fair, though, you blame that on Grant Morrison, like when he rebooted the X-Men in the late 90s into 2000s, like that's sort of, you know, where that comes from, I think. And a lot of the DNA from this show has you know, comes from Grant Morrison's run. The bit that got me the most in this, I mean, the 3-part was great, and even understanding Baston's like or Bastion.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the baguette. Sorry if there's any French people listening. I'm not throwing shade at you. You can do Australian if you want that sound. It's really, you know, particular as well. All right, mate. Oh, crikey, shit. I forgot my point. Oh, no, but his like his drive, like, you know, they will never understand us, so we should kill them all. Like it's Magneto extreme, and you can understand that, and just like Storm saying to Jean, make them weather your mind, and then make them mind your weather. Like, it's something they've said to each other before.
When they said those 2 lines, I'm like, fucking yes, queens. Like, that shit was fucking awesome. I was in my room.
Sisterliness.
Yeah, I was in my room alone. I was like, oh shit, like, just talking to nobody.
Is he alright?
Yeah, that was badass.
What got me was Jean and Scott knowing that they were going to die and going back to talk to Cable.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Like, fathers and sons stuff, like, gets me,
dude. Yeah,
way, like it always has. But like, just in him taking off his glasses and him seeing his eyes, and they're beautiful eyes. I love you, son.
Yeah.
Jean, it's time to go.
Yeah, and then the
Cable
tears
doesn't cry
coming down.
He does. Yeah, coming down out of his eyes. Yeah, and he doesn't. Cable doesn't cry. He doesn't go harumph. He's just like, yep, the war continues.
Yeah.
You know? I lost my fucking arm.
yeah, he's sitting there armless. Yeah. Because speaking of lines, dude, like, I don't know, how did you guys feel about that whole bit with Nightcrawler and Jean? Or I think he was talking to Jean. I don't think it was Rogue. Where he was like, blood is blood, but family is a choice.
Family's choice.
Dude, did that shit hit you hard like it did us? Because we felt that to our core, like that.
Yeah, man.
Like, I don't know what your guys' situation is, you know, with your family, but I think no family's perfect. But, dude, that line fucking was the most beautiful line this entire series for me. That shit hit so close to home for me, man. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, you choose your family.
Right.
Like, I'm sitting here with 3 motherfuckers who I adore,
Yeah.
you know, and none of us, we're separated by continents, and I'm closer to you guys than I am to people who are actually in my bloodline.
Yeah.
It was one of the lines in the speech I did for my 40th was like, you know, who your family is has little to nothing to do with blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, and that's what the X-Men are about. Like, all of them, none of them look the same. Charles says it. He's like, I've got a whole bunch of family at home right now. None of us look alike.
Yeah.
You know, it's incredibly important for people to understand that, because you can get trapped in a cycle of what your family does and the shit that they bring along with it, and all the baggage that it comes with, when really you're your own individual person, and you get to make those decisions, those choices about who you spend your time with.
Addie?
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, he hit really hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what the X-Men have always been.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's what mutant proud means.
Yeah.
For sure.
We stand together as family. Either we choose who we call family.
Yeah. So the exact line was, "We may not resemble each other, but we are still family. We had a dream that made us family.
Yeah.
And a family worth having is a family worth fighting for."
Yeah. That's when he was talking to Magneto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was powerful stuff. Like, I'm glad that they saved that for the end. Because I felt like that was needed. We needed to see that for Magneto. You know what I mean? Like, we needed to see that character arc for him.
Yeah. He was so hurt and dwelling on the past that he needed to realize that was going to hurt his future, and that's what that's what Charles was trying to get him to realize, that
Yeah.
being hell bent on the past is only going to continue to create more hurt. You know.
Well, yeah. What happened to him as a kid literally fueled his whole adulthood and his whole mutant like stance.
Yeah.
Was like, humans did this to me. This is what they're capable of. So for him to finally reach Magneto in that way, I thought it was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I
And then for humanity to still let them down, and let the Rockets go was tough. You know, because Bastion again was right. Unfortunately, you know, and so Magneto was right again. Like that, humans would rather. Like they knew that, you know, when Jean was like, "Oh, and they're having babies and more of us," and then Bastion's like, "Yeah, but they still would rather not have any of you.
Yeah,
just have more of them." And then we see the Rockets coming.
Humanity would rather die than have children like us.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, holy shit! Like it's a cartoon, but man, it's hitting like deep fucking thoughts and stances. That part where what's it called? Planet M, or what is it?
Asteroid M.
Asteroid M. Thank you. When that's falling, I was getting real like Ultron, like Age of Ultron vibes. Where
for sure.
That part was falling, and then especially when Rogue flew under and went to like hold it up.
The way
I was like, oh, that's fucking just like how Iron Man went underneath and was trying to blow it up from underneath. But then that kind of brings it back.
Better executed here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In my opinion, because that means something as well. Like in it's just a phlebotomy. It's just a plot contrivance. You know, like to get people to kind of like, story is what people hang on to. Plot is why they hang on to.
Right.
And that's what's happening when that's asteroids falling in Avengers Age of Ultron. But here, this is the future of the planet Earth literally crashing into the planet.
Yeah.
And the derision and the division between these two ideologies literally crashing together. Like the metaphors are thick. In this show, and you don't pick them up all at once. Like you do have to go back or rethink it,
right?
You know, figure out what it actually all means.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, I think the whole scene, you know, them in the bar, Magneto and Charles in the bar, and the water around them in the boat, you know, seeing, you know, the people that mean the most to Magneto are in that scene, which is Charles in the bar, and then those in the boat was Rogue, and then there's 3 children. Well, aren't children, who knows? I don't know what they're gonna make canon or not canon, but we see Quicksilver, Wanda, and Polaris. And it's I know it's the water, like everyone talks about, I had this wave of emotions. Like water is always affiliated with emotion, you know, and the water kept getting higher and higher and higher on the window, and you can see the gravity of how much pressure was on him to make whatever the right choice was for Eric. And when he said his name, what's it, Eric Magnus Lencher, right?
Lencher,
yeah. So when he said it, each time he said the 3 names, like Magneto's eyes just opened wider, and in that moment, all I was thinking about was Onslaught, because I don't think the Magneto we're seeing right now is the healed Magneto. Something's missing. And he's attaching himself to the good that Charles was trying to bring out of him, but those skeletons in that closet are some big ass skeletons that are going to be hard to suppress.
Yeah.
You know, look at Jean Grey when he hid in the movies, when Charles would hold the Phoenix Force back and try to hide it so that she wouldn't, like, you know, kill them all, essentially. You know, and what that turned into, and how they did that with the original Phoenix movie. And I think that's how Onslaught's going to happen again, because Charles tried to manipulate someone's mind instead of letting them make a natural choice. And if it was murdering millions, and unfortunately it was murdering millions, but it was the choice he made, not you manipulating him to that. And that's where this Onslaught character is going to come from.
Okay.
And it's going to be devastating.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if that plays out. So, I mean, the series as a whole was fucking... I would argue that it's probably the best Marvel series as far as like show to come out since Disney Plus started throwing all these shows out there. And it's fucking, and it's animated. It's to you know, to add to that.
Yeah.
So I want to get your guys' stone ratings on the entire series. So the entire first season. Addy, what's your stone rating?
I'd give this one 5 stars.
5. All right.
Oh,
Stones.
5 stones. Yep.
Five
Yep.
stones, sorry.
Out of 6. Out of 6 stones. Okay.
Yeah, 5 out of 6. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Regs.
Kidney
Stones. You're giving it. Okay. It hurt.
I give it kidney.
It was that powerful of a hurt for you because I'm right there with you.
It was. It made my dick itch. No. It's only 5 because the metric that you sent in the message was like 1 star is the Flash, which was hysterical to me, and 6 is Jaws.
Jaws level,
and nothing's better than Jaws. So
I only did that so that you can just see the range. So
understand that the disparity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think 5. 5 stones, absolutely. And like, there's nothing in particular that I could point out that I would have done differently.
Okay.
But I just, that's it. It is really great, and it opens up so many possibilities, man. Like, you saw Morph turn into a dozen or so people who we could see. Like, he turned into Reed Richards at one point.
Yeah.
Psylocke.
Hulk.
Daredevil had a cameo.
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger had a cameo. Iron Man had a cameo. It was the Iron Man from the 90s cartoon. That cartoon series was, there was Iron Man, there was a Captain America, there was a Fantastic Four, there was a Silver Surfer, and of course the Spider-Man series from the 90s, which is second.
And we see him with Mary Jane, which was interesting because the series ends with him finding out the Mary Jane he had been with was a clone.
Right.
Very
So
close to
now
this series,
he's with Mary Jane.
The Marvel Universe going fucking ham with the clones. It's Clone City. It's Clone High.
Yeah, seriously.
It just opens up the possibility of them doing this with other series and expanding these stories in a way that is less, let's market these at children and sell toys, and more like, those kids are grown up now, they have all the toys, clearly.
Yes.
But what they need is real stories with real emotion and some joyfulness, because that's you got to find that wherever you can.
That's what happens when the kids get adult money. That's what happens.
Oh man, I've had to put a cap on my comic expenditure.
Yeah,
I was just like, Riggs, fucking right, you can't have that much paper in the house for one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just take it down a notch, and remember, food is also
Giga, your stone ratings for the entire series.
5.
5 stones? Mm-hmm. Really? Okay.
I would love to give it a 6. And again, the same thing with Regs. I don't think they could have done anything different that would have been like, oh, you should have did it this way, or maybe I loved everything about it.
I think 6 stones would have been the last scene, Dr. Cooper changing into Mystique. He'd be like, fucking, yes, that's it. 6 stones.
That's it.
No. I just think, I'm a little weary. The only thing I'm worried about is, so we've established in the MCU, incursions are what's gonna be the big thing. Mm-hmm. And we just ended this with 2 different. The team split into 2 different timelines. Which are going to create incursions.
Well, isn't that still the same timeline, though?
We don't know.
Well, before we get too far into that, I'll give my stone ratings. I was telling Kika after episode 5, I'm like, there's no way that this show is going to get 6 stones out of me because Gambit's gone. I'm like, so that's fucking 1 stone out the window. But I will, I was almost going to give it fucking way lower than my actual score. That's how pissed I was. But the way it ends, I'm like, all right, I can't be too hard on them. But I'm with you guys. It's a 5 stones for me. Yeah, the writing was phenomenal. It gave me the ups and downs. The plots were solid. I mean, it's some of the best writing you can get. You know what I mean? Like we said, hats off to the writers. Fuck them, but still, they did a great job.
But taking the things that the stories that were going to work so well, whether it was the Goblin Queen story or the Operation Zero Tolerance ran in the comics for ages. I think I said it before, and I still remember it so clearly. At that and the trial of Gambit, like, it was just that particular time when Carlos Pacello and Joe Madureira were drawing the X-Men. Scott Lobdell was writing it. He's one of the Man of Action guys now who writes all the Marvel cartoon shows. the really, really specific period of time. And then, like you said, Kike, maybe bringing in Onslaught, like, yeah, fucking make it 90s as shit. And don't, Incursion's my ball nuts, all right? Like, just leave this show alone and let it do its own thing. Don't bring in other stuff. Like, it's so strong, you don't need
it to be it doesn't need to touch the MCU, honestly. It doesn't have to bring it in or tie it to it, because this could easily be written off as it's a different multiverse. Like, it's... Just leave it alone. Yeah. It doesn't have to tie into everything. It doesn't, else.
But the way it looks, I think it's going to.
They might do that just to keep it relevant with, like, new fans.
With the multiverse
saga. Yeah, with the multiverse saga and just new fans to be like, oh, this is what I saw in the movies. This is, you know what I mean? Because, like, fans of it that didn't grow up with the 90s run of X-Men. But, yeah, I mean, this show... Gambit's death, I get it. It added his death added depth to the show. It added fucking a storyline that was a great storyline to tell. I mean,
it also added threat. It's like, oh, well, no one's fucking safe.
Yeah. It made X-Men real, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh fuck, all right, the X-Men aren't invincible. These guys can die. So it, like I said, I hate that it was fucking my guy that had to go, but like, it's part of life, I guess.
Next season will be Beast, and we'll be back here round and
then you have a shoulder to cry on, and I have a shoulder to cry on, and
as long as they don't touch Nightcrawler, man, he's the don't do that.
See, it's it's gonna happen. We got to be careful that, and we don't know, so that's what makes it exciting.
Yep.
So you think we're gonna get a? So the way it ended, right? We see the board. We see everybody on there.
So Scarlet Witch says off-world.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver off-world. So do you think House of M happened?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, not yet. But I mean, that's the board was almost a reproduction of the cover of the first issue of Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Yeah. There's that, and that involves Wolverine, so we don't know where he is yet. It involves Kitty; she hasn't appeared. Yeah. Maybe Morph will be the Kitty substitute. I don't know, but and Bishop coming back and Forge sort of trying to figure it out. Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
All right, so since we're talking about the future, so season 2, who's a mutant that you guys would like to see come in and be part of the core cast? We'll go Addie.
Magic.
Nice.
I agree.
Magic.
She was on.
Yes.
Yeah, bring back Bobby.
Yes, I want to see Iceman
because he's in the picture of the OG X-Men in the office.
Yeah.
Like with they were in the first the yellow costumes. Maybe they're like, hey, we need Bobby back, and he's been retired since then, and he's an older. Bobby Drake has been a teenager, for most of the canon.
Yeah. Okay.
But he comes back and he's a 20-something, and he's been working as a fucking beat cop, or what I mean, and not using his powers.
He's an Omega level, so I mean, they need to bring back Omega levels. If Storm and all of them are gone, they need.
I don't think Storm is gone.
Well, no, but she was in the asteroid.
She wasn't in it.
Storm
she was below it throwing fucking ice on it, and then with
but they didn't show where she ended up at this point,
well, she's not dead. I'm just saying she's not in that timeline.
Well, see, you say gone, and then you bring my PTSD back with fucking Gambit. All right, so that's where I immediately go. X-Men, you cannot say the words gone around me. Okay, so who's the next one you want on, or a mutant? Sorry.
No, Magic. I agree with Addie. Magic is we see her on the board, and I'm excited. She has a really strong power set.
Well, I mean, if we're talking Magic, I got to see Colossus.
Well, he would come back for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I want to see Colossus.
Yeah, and Bo said
have him do the Russian next.
Yes.
Bo said that Bo DeMille said that Deadpool was off limits, so that's why he didn't even show up. So I don't think we're gonna see him.
He wasn't canonically in the cartoon anyway, and honestly, too much Deadpool is too much Deadpool. Like they put him in everything.
I don't think he believes in that line you just said.
No, I'm getting my Deadpool fill with the movie coming out, so I'm okay. You don't need to bring him into this.
No, I don't want to.
I don't think he'd work in the X-Men, like in the cartoon universe.
It's too serious,
and he's too off the rails. You can't. It wouldn't. having a censored Deadpool, it's not Deadpool. So it's like you can't get the same feel. It'd be like, what the hell is this off-brand shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Morph is doing all that anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
I really enjoyed
comic
Morph
relief.
this entire series. I love him.
Yeah. We didn't really talk about them much, but it was. And I remember Addy was telling me about it when it was first happening, and not to soapbox or anything, but like if you don't get why they made Morph
non-binary,
non-binary, or made them they them, then you're a fucking
get fucked.
Like think about what the X-Men are, what they stand for, and if you don't understand it, you don't understand the X-Men, and therefore you like pretty shapes and colors, you moron. Like it's just,
but here's the other thing: you can't get behind a drawing. Being non-binary, go fucking get therapy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to have a serious sit down with your own brain. If you have an issue with a cartoon character not following your same beliefs of sexuality, like, dude, seriously. And like you said,
grow the fuck.
Seriously.
Of all beings that would be non-binary, a person that can switch genders at will would be non-binary.
Right.
Like, if anything, it's just logical. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the dumbest shit for people to get upset at.
And at the end where he's like, they turn into Jean.
Yeah.
And tell.
Oh,
Wolverine
that was great.
It's
Yeah.
like, so powerful. And look, if you really do have a problem with it, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
What you should do is you should take all of your X-Men comics and you should burn them, and then you should go get into your car and you should drive a long, long way to the beach. And you should walk into the fucking
or go play in traffic. Yeah,
you are gonna get left behind. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
It's 2024. Catch the fuck up. All right.
That's what I said.
These are the kind of people who, in hotel rooms, they have that thing on the hairdryer that says "Do not use in the shower." Like, do we really need to slow down for these motherfuckers? No, we do not. We are evolving here, people. Please.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, it's just go play in the playground in the middle of the highway is what I say. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking, it's dumb, dude.
America's dangerous. Dude. We don't have
that. Yeah. We save a specific highway for those people. But no, dude, it's just the dumbest shit people get upset at. Or like choose to have an argument about. It's dumb. Anyway,
especially in this context, in the context of the X-Men, like if you're making the argument, if all of a sudden they made Superman gay, and they did in the comic books,
his son,
is bisexual. Like, and that's the Son of Kal-El is one of the best runs of comics I've read in the last few years. It's really great. But if they made Kal-El, if they made Clark Kent gay, I don't understand it. I wouldn't understand people getting shitty about it, but it would make more sense than them getting shitty about the X-Men.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just one of the X-Men being anything other than white and straight. Like, go fuck this.
Yeah, seriously.
I had a colleague of mine that mentioned about, they're like, oh, I don't like that they're trying to make Logan like ship with Morph, and I'm like, why not? The guy's lived forever. Yeah. He's done anything, like you said, anything and everything under the sun. Who cares? I am 100% okay with him with Logan and them shipping. I think it would be great. It'd be and some people are they just can't wrap their mind around the life that we live now, and it baffles me. It really does baffle me. It's sad.
I mean, if you think about it as well, it's like it's already happened. Like, what's his name? Quill, Star-Lord.
Yeah,
is clearly pansexual because he has sex with other than humans.
Yeah.
Like, he's a human and he's having sex with alien creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they don't put a hat on it, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, just it's all good. Everyone just enjoy all the flavors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A hole's a hole, right? No.
Well, wait a minute. All right.
That's just. I'm gonna start that campaign. I'm gonna like campaign with the LGBTQ, and the new slogan I'm gonna have: a hole's a hole.
That's
that's it.
Yeah, they'll love that. They love the support.
Appreciate it. Oh god. I feel like that's what Magneto said in the Danger Room.
Yeah, then I'm gonna just put it's all love in the Danger Room. That's it.
Yeah, I like that. I could stand behind that. It's all love in the Danger Room. I'm with that.
just above the door, like Believe in Ted Lasso. But it's, you whack it as you go in.
Love is love. Just right there. Yeah.
You take it. You go right to Pound Town.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
I want a sign that says Danger Room now. I'm gonna put it over my door. Absolutely.
All right, that works.
I want one.
Alrighty.
That's fun.
All right. I mean, that's pretty much it on the season. It was a great season.
Yes.
Thank you guys again for coming back and joining us. Like I said, we consider you guys a Big Brother podcast, so
yes,
it's very special when you guys shoot the shit with us.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's gonna do it for us. So thank you guys again for joining us. And if you guys have not checked out Filmatics podcast, please go check them out. They talk about movies and shows, and they have a great time. Regs will have you crying and laughing, I promise. And Addy comes in with just fire shit, so fire theories.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, well, again, thank you guys. We'll have you back on for sure again for some. We just got to figure it out.
Any fucking
whenever you want us to. I know I missed the last one, but I'm feeling better. So
yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah. No, we'll come back. We're doing some X-Men stuff soon. We've got the Jaws commentary coming out. We're gonna do X2. And we're also going to do an episode on Logan as well, just to do a bit of a catch up before Deadpool comes out. Deadpool and Wolverine.
You guys are covering that, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably do at least a chat about it. Depends on if it's good or not, because we only talk about movies that we like.
Okay.
Which is a counter programming when the Flash came out. It's like, let's talk about the Flashpoint Paradox animated movie, which is baller, as opposed to the
thank you again for that, because listening to your episode, I went back and watched it, and it was fucking worth it.
I can't. I've been telling this guy, and he didn't watch it.
I never got into DC animation, but I after you guys,
there's some solid stuff there, man. Like that, and the other really great one is Justice League Dark Apocalypse, which kind of ends that run of them. Just exquisite storytelling.
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll figure out something you come on our show.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure. All right, well, that's going to do it for us, guys. I want to thank you again for joining us. And Kike, as always, I'm with you.
To the end of the line.
All right, thanks.